This is the video about how I lost weight, toned up, and gained muscle. I've been wanting to make this video for years now, but I wanted to make sure that the weight loss was sustainable, that I had the best tips. And I feel like I've finally gotten to a place where I feel really happy with my body and my mental health towards my body, and it's also been a sustainable transition. I think it's been like 3 years since my before pictures that I'm going to show you, and of course my body has fluctuated over the past few years, but I found a lot of systems that have really worked for losing weight and maintaining that weight, which is really important to me. In this first section, I'm going to talk about my fitness journey, transformation photos, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about my binge eating and like my relationship with that in the past. So if that is a trigger for you in any way, you can skip to this timestamp, and in that section I'll talk more about actionable steps and tips to how to lose weight and build a healthier lifestyle. So for as long as I can remember, I was self-conscious about my body. I have a vivid memory of my grandma grabbing my arms and shaking them and saying they were too small and I didn't have enough weight on me and that I needed to gain weight and eat more chicken. And later I remember my mom in high school saying that I was too muscular, my legs were too muscular and my shoulders were too broad and I looked like a football player, and she said that I needed to lose weight. In high school I always wanted my body to look more like this and less like that. I had all of these ideas of how my dream physique would be and how I would feel once I attained my dream physique, how it would make me happy and how I would be respected and how people would think I was cool. I joined track and cross country in high school mainly because they were the only sports that didn't have a ball, and I have terrible hand-eye coordination, so I did that. And I also got a personal trainer, and I was going to the gym a lot, lifting weights and stuff like that. And I did see a transition in my body in high school during that time period. But even though my body was changing, I still didn't have the best mentality towards my body, and I also didn't have the best relationship with food. During that time I was paleo because I thought that was the diet that was going to make me look the best and feel the best and be healthiest. But I was finding myself getting extremely hungry and kind of restricting food and then eating a lot of food. I have this distinct memory of eating like 20 chicken breasts in one sitting. So even though I outwardly looked healthy in certain ways, I feel like it was very clear I wasn't healthy. I was breaking out. I wasn't like feeling super great, and I felt really bad about my body still. Even though I had lost a lot of weight and I looked good to other people, I still felt bad. After that period in high school, I went to college. I went to college in Colorado State University, and that was probably one of the healthiest points in my life. And I feel like that period of my life was like the model of what I wanted to attain in the future, because it resembled health physically but also health mentally. I had a good relationship with food and with my body. I think there were multiple reasons for that. I was biking every single day around campus. That was just my mode of transportation, so it was a habit I had built in my life.
I really love riding my bike.
I used to ride my bike when I was in college too, and I loved it.
Biking is really fun.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, did you guys ever like go to the gym and lift weights?
Yeah. I had a huge like gym phase.
How does it compare to like working out in nature for you?
I personally had a bad relationship with like working out. Like I didn't want to work out because I was going to the gym. But now that I'm into rock climbing and hiking, I feel like my mindset towards it is completely different. Like I'm doing it because it's fun. Like if you're going to a gym, I'm like, I have to get fit, like why are you too much or whatever.
Yeah.
But here it's just like I'm enjoying the views and my body just happens to be doing something really incredible too and getting fit.
I also had a very healthy relationship with food, so I didn't have any strict dietary restrictions, but I did go vegan that year, which I think contributed a lot to my increase in health and also my good relationship with food. I would still eat vegan cookies and cupcakes and vegan cheese and meats sometimes, but I generally ate whole food, plant-based. I was also very active. I think I started to view food and diet as more for others rather than for my own self-serving means. Like, I went vegan not at all for health, even though that is a big part of it, and a big positive is that it's a healthier way of life. I primarily went vegan for the animals, so yeah, it had nothing to do with myself. And I think viewing food for others, and rather than always thinking about how I looked and how it was making me look and attaching a lot of guilt to it, I feel like was really good for me. However, years after that, when I decided to drop out of college and save up for the van that I'm now traveling in, that's probably when my health was the worst. At that time period, I had decided to go raw vegan, which I don't think has to be bad, but for me, after I went raw vegan, I gained a ton of weight. I also was working so much. I was working back-to-back jobs, like all I did was work. I didn't really take care of my health very much, and I didn't really feel like I had time for myself at all because all I was doing was work to save up for this van. So my health really declined. I was starting to eat a lot of processed foods. So that is when I took these pictures. That was the period of time when I was the heaviest. I felt the most lethargic, and I didn't feel good about my body at all. I felt very insecure in my body and my own skin. I desperately wanted to look different and feel different, but I didn't feel like I had the time or energy to implement better habits. But I read a book that really changed everything for me, and that book was Atomic Habits. So this next section where I talk about how I actually lost weight and toned up is a lot to do with Atomic Habits and things I learned from that book. The whole book is about how to develop better habits and the importance of habits in our day-to-day life. But first I had to know which habits I wanted to develop. So I have written a list of the habits that I knew would be good for my mental and physical health and would help me lose weight and get more active and love my body more. So the first one is monthly mantras. I think monthly mantras and positive affirmations are so important in so many different areas of our life. We can manifest crazy things, and I've seen it in my own life. But some of my favorite mantras that I write down monthly and I try to reiterate and say in my head and really feel and embody them are: I naturally crave health promoting foods, and I feel at home in my physical body. Writing mantras and saying these things in our head is also really important because it helps shift how we identify with ourselves. And how we identify is extremely important because we all have an ego. We want to act according to our self-proclaimed identity because it makes us feel like we have a sense of self. So if we perceive ourselves to be an active person, we are more likely to be active or act in ways that a confident person would act or a healthy person would act. We see that the trail continues on these glaciers on the side of the mountain, and it looks very steep, and we see two people and they're like slipping left and right.
They keep slipping, and it's just a straight drop down.
I don't know if I'm down to continue.
Pretty sketchy. I think we're gonna talk to the people who just slipped and see what they think. Okay, we're doing it. Oh my god, my heart's beating so fast.
Good job, Tori. We went like halfway on the ice, and then we were just sketched out. Tori slipped one time. I kind of slipped one time too. So we decided to turn back, but it was like really fun, and I feel glad that we tried it. So now we're going to hike 4 miles back down this mountain and make a nice big meal. And then the second habit is eating mainly whole food, plant-based. If you don't know the importance of whole food, plant-based, I highly recommend the book How Not to Die. And whole foods, plant-based just means no processed foods and eating mainly whole veggies like broccoli or root vegetables and beans and lentils, rice or grains like quinoa. Or I say mainly because I still do eat vegan ice cream and vegan cheese and vegan chicken every once in a while. It's definitely a special treat for me, not something I have often or regularly. But I found that restricting myself as little as possible has helped with making this weight loss sustainable, meaning that I don't bounce back and gain a bunch of weight after you try one of those fad diets like I did after I went raw vegan. The next habit I wanted to develop was exercising 5 or more times a week. So that kind of was very broad for me. It could be as simple as 5 push-ups, or it could be going on a run, it could be yoga, hiking, rock climbing, anything that I wanted to do. And then the next one is intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting has a ton of health benefits that have been proven to just help with our health and how we feel, and it can also help with weight loss as well. There were times in my life where I was a little more vigilant about tracking it, so I have a bullet journal and I would track the intervals in which I would eat. Right now I'm not tracking it, but I feel like I've kind of found a natural way to intermittent fast where, yeah, I just do it pretty naturally. What I try to do is 16 hours not eating and 8 hours eating. So now I will get into how to develop those habits, because I think a lot of us know, yeah, if I ate healthier and worked out more, I would lose weight. Like, everyone knows that, but how do we actually get ourselves to eat healthier and work out more? So this section is going to be all about how to develop a habit. Habits are important to develop for self-growth in general, but also for fitness and health. I think there's a quote by Aristotle that goes, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit." For me, I feel like habits and learning to develop habits has been so important for me in growth in all areas, but I think it also played a big role in why I was able to sustainably lose weight and find confidence in my body and become healthier and fitter and stronger and leaner. So the first tip I have for developing habit is to prioritize systems over goals. So I think a lot of times, especially when I was in high school, I prioritized goals. Like, my goal is to look a certain way, or to be able to do this many push-ups, or be this strong. But we actually need to be prioritizing systems. There is a quote from the book that says, "The purpose of setting goals is to win the game, but the purpose of building systems is to continue playing the game." So it goes back to sustainability. And I think we all want to lose weight sustainably. We want to lose weight and we want to keep the weight off, rather than, again, doing one of those fad diets. We've all heard of this, or maybe we've all experienced this, where we do one of these diets and then we gain that weight that we lost plus more after the end of the diet. And so, yeah, I feel like it's really important to prioritize systems for the reason of sustainability. I oftentimes call this the destination mindset versus the journey mindset. So we want to prioritize the journey mindset rather than the destination. I think when we do this as well, we don't even have to try for the results to come, because they just come without us even noticing. In high school, I was so focused in on the results I wanted, and then once I got those results, one, I didn't even notice that I had gotten the results, and two, I was still unhappy and I was still not feeling like the mental benefits of it. Okay, the second tip is habit stacking. I am obsessed with this tip. I feel like when I learned this, it just blew my mind. The premise of habit stacking is you look at all of the habits you do in a day and what your day-to-day routine naturally looks like. You already have habits built into your life, whether you realize it or not, whether they're positive or negative. You basically just stack a habit that you want to build with a habit that you already have. So let's say that you go to work every day and you come back and the first thing you do is take off your shoes. That's a habit. Every single day you take off your shoes. That's something that happens automatically. You don't even think about it. But one of the habits you want to build is put a workout outfit on and go to the gym. So you can stack the habit off of something that happens automatically, like you come home, you take off your shoes. Immediately after that, you put on workout clothes and you go to the gym. And you basically try to make that new habit automatic, so you become the type of person that works out every single day after they come back from work. A habit is simply a behavior that is repeated enough times for it to become automatic. So what we're trying to do is make active, healthy habits become automatic, and we need to put the reps in basically for that to happen. The third tip is to make health and a healthy lifestyle attractive. This is probably one of the things that benefited me the most, finding workouts that I loved, that I didn't dread, that weren't a punishment for me. Like nowadays, I don't view working out as a punishment in the sense of, oh, I ate too many cookies, now I have to go to the gym and burn those calories off. I view it as something I genuinely love to do, and that's because I've found workouts I love and I don't have to convince myself to do it. For me, I have found myself gravitate a lot to activities like rock climbing. I really love yoga, and another one I really love is hiking. I went on a hike the other day with my friends in Rocky Mountain National Park, and I feel like it just really reminded me of how when I really love a workout, I don't even remember it's a workout. Climbing and hiking, it's more for the activity itself, which I feel like is so much more healthy mentally for me.
Also with like volleyball or something, like it's a team sport, so it doesn't feel like you work out.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like a workout either. I love volleyball. We should play. I wish we had one.
Yeah, we should.
There's so much I love about hiking, more than just the physical aspect of it, and more than the fact that it could help me lose weight or look a certain way. I love being in nature. I love being with friends. I find so much joy going on a long hike and exerting my body in that way. And because it's attractive, I don't have to force myself or convince myself to do it, and I don't dread doing it in any way. And with climbing, I feel like climbing is such a mental game. It's also like a puzzle for me, and I feel so much reward mentally too when I've done a climb that's harder than the last, or I've pushed myself physically or mentally, and I feel myself getting stronger. I see that I can do more pull-ups every month, and that I can do harder climbs, do more difficult movements, and really challenge myself. And I think finding something like that for yourself, it might take some experimenting, but it will be so rewarding in the end to find a workout that you're so passionate about that it doesn't feel like work to you or something that you need to do.
We're going rock climbing!
I got into climbing 7 years ago. I worked out at a gym that also had a climbing gym, and I had a buddy who was working there, so I decided to visit him. And I started climbing and became addicted. And then I was at that gym like every second of every day. The manager there was like, you need to just work here, dude. Like, you're always here anyways. So I ended up working there, and then I worked at a couple other climbing gyms after, and started getting into climbing outdoors, which is so fun. It's just such a different ball game because you get to be in these beautiful spots and connect with nature, and it's very meditative and peaceful when you're on the wall. An alternative to that is something called temptation bundling. So if the only alternative you have is a gym, which I don't think that's most people, because I feel like even if there's a gym, there's a rock climbing gym, or there's a Pilates gym, or a yoga studio. But if the nearest thing you have access to, or the cheapest, is a gym with a treadmill, you can do something called temptation bundling. So you bundle something you really want to do, like you really want to watch your favorite show, with something that you know you need to do for your health or for your fitness. So you can set a rule for yourself that I'm only allowed to watch this show I really like when I'm walking on the treadmill or at the gym or something like that. But yeah, I feel like I prefer making the activity in itself attractive. I feel like I would much rather like just find a workout that I love rather than temptation bundling. Personally, I've just found it's worked better for me. But if you don't have the privilege of loving a workout yet, or like finding what works out for you, then temptation bundling is a great alternative. The next tip, oh my gosh, I have so much to say about this in every area. I am so strongly against perfectionism in every aspect, whether that's making videos or art and working out as well. Repetition over perfection. Like, place repetition over perfection 100%. That is the tip. And I think this applies for a lot of things, and working out as well. Time magnifies your habits. So good habits make time your ally, whereas bad habits make time your enemy. So yeah, even though it's not a quick fix, and I'm not telling you like tomorrow you're going to be able to lose this much weight or you'll be able to do it like in a month, this is a much more sustainable version, because just a small change in your everyday life will eventually lead in you building a habit and making an active, healthy habit a part of your lifestyle and routine, and it will become automatic and who you are. And that is a much more sustainable way to lose weight, gain muscle, and just be happier and healthier overall. So those are all the tips and my fitness journey and transformation of how I lost weight. I think I lost over 10 pounds, but I also gained muscle, and muscle weighs more than fat. I think it's important to remember that our bodies are going to naturally fluctuate, and I think another important thing is that we can accept and love our bodies as we are while we're still trying to work on them. I'm so proud of you on whatever part you are of your journey, and thank you guys so much for watching this video and supporting my journey as well. If you did enjoy this video, please like, because it really supports my channel, and subscribe because I post videos every Sunday. Bye!